Thank you for staying with us here on THV 11 Plus for Arkansas News Now. I'm Ashley King with meteorologist Nathan Scott, and finally, some good news.
Finally, some good news. We have climbed above freezing at Little Rock. It happened around 11 o'clock this morning, and we'll continue to see those numbers get closer and closer to 40 degrees in a lot of locations this afternoon. So the great thaw has begun, and it has been quite some time because we dropped below freezing at Little Rock on Friday evening around 6 o'clock. So it's been 89 hours that we have seen the numbers stay below the freezing mark, but that pales in comparison to what we saw back in 2021 when it was 192 hours. Look at these numbers. Already 41 in Clinton, 40 in Arkadelphia, 39 in Pine Bluff. All the white that you see that's not moving, that's all the snow and ice cover. There are some high clouds into Texas and Oklahoma that will continue to push their way across the natural state later today, through this afternoon, and also into tonight. But we're seeing these warmer numbers because the winds, they're coming in from the west-southwest. Still wind chill out there. Still bundle up if you're going to be out and about. Feels like 25 in Searcy, feels like 29 in the capital city. It feels like 33 in Arkadelphia. So here's your planner today. Temperatures, I think, will get very close to 40 degrees in many areas. Calling for a high of 44 in Arkadelphia, 38 in Searcy, and tonight we drop back below freezing, so any slush, any liquid out there will refreeze, and black ice will be an issue.
Thank you, Nathan. The winter storm has claimed 2 lives in Arkansas, both victims doing something many families across the state enjoy, riding ATVs in the snow. Saline County officials say a 17-year-old was on a tube being pulled by an ATV when he hit a tree just north of Benton. We've also learned a 40-year-old man died in an ATV crash near Hope. And the toll keeps climbing. 8 others have been injured. 4 people hurt in Saline County, 1 in Cleveland County, and 3 more in Columbia County. And just into the THV 11 newsroom, the Little Rock School District will be out tomorrow. As more decisions roll in about school closings, our THV 11 digital team is keeping a running list of the latest updates. You can text the word closings to 501-376-1111 for a link. Our THV 11 crews have been spread out across the state since before the winter storm began, giving you a first-hand look of the aftermath and the recovery. THV 11's Carter Thweet has been live in Jefferson County for days now. And Carter, you guys are actually making your way back to Little Rock now, right? How's it going?
Ashley, we are making our way back and things are good. We're using the opportunity to check out conditions south of the Little Rock Metro as we make our way back from Jefferson County. And so we're in the city of Redfield right now in the northern part of Jefferson County, and things here look a lot like they were looking in Pine Bluff and Whitehall and a lot of other places. These side streets and these city roads aren't great. In fact, one of the roads here in Redfield is actually closed because it's a high bridge, and I imagine they just want people to be extra safe. Now the interstates are looking really, really good, so we feel great about being able to get back to Little Rock today, again, as long as we're careful. But here in Redfield and some of these other cities, you're just going to want to be careful because these side streets still have a ton of snow and ice, even with the temperatures climbing above freezing like Nathan was saying. So we're going to continue to keep an eye on conditions as we continue to come up towards Little Rock, and we will keep you updated on that throughout the day. For now, though, in Jefferson County, I'm Carter Thweet with THV 11 News.
Thank you, Carter. And now that we're on the other side of this winter storm, the focus for many is cleaning up the damage Mother Nature left behind. THV 11's Tanya Motorzitsky is back down in Garland County today near Lake Hamilton. Tanya, what are you seeing there?
Well, Ashley, you know, it's a lot of recovery for a lot of folks. Yesterday, I showed people how structures are caving in, and today it's all about the boat docks. Folks are having issues with their boat docks, especially for those who live there. There's been many reports and pictures we've seen come in of their boat ports caving in as well. And now I'm hearing from folks on Facebook just how expensive it is to rebuild those situations that they, you know, are now unhoused. So having to find places to stay and rebuilding, that's going to take a while, and it's going to cost a lot of money is what I'm hearing. So I'm spending the day out here talking to folks about the recovery efforts and what it looks like and where they were at the time of, you know, everything caving in. So there's a lot of rebuilding out here in Garland County that's going to take a while. So for now, live in Garland County, Tanya Motorzitsky, THV 11 News.
Tanya, thank you. And Arkansas has mostly avoided the widespread power outages hitting nearby states during this winter storm. But officials say the risk isn't over. While Louisiana, Mississippi, and Tennessee each saw hundreds of thousands without power, Arkansas peaked at about 6,000 outages. Entergy says it's carefully balancing load to protect equipment. Governor Sarah Sanders and Mayor Frank Scott Jr. say challenges remain as the cold continues.
We are extremely grateful to Energy Arkansas, as well as MISO and SPP, which are air traffic controllers for our energy operations here in Little Rock and Arkansas. And we've seen minimal outages, and so we're very grateful for that. But we also have to brace for the continuation of more weather as relates to the known numbers that we're seeing right now.
The biggest thing we can do, again, is keeping power on, making sure people have access to heat and food and shelter. And so continuing to clear roadways and keep power on is going to be the big priority that we have and that all of our teams on the ground are focused on over the course of the next 24 to 36 hours.
Entergy is suspending all disconnections through February 2nd and is asking customers to set thermostats to 68 degrees to help avoid overload. 2/3 of the country experienced snow, ice, and now record cold this week. And more than 500,000 homes and businesses are still without power, mostly in the southeast. Nicole Valdez is in hard-hit Nashville with a closer look.
We don't know what to do.
Yeah.
There's no option, really. We're just cold.
In Nashville, Blake Majewski and Cecilia Lavoie are stuck at home with no heat as temperatures in the city drop to single digits.
What are you guys doing to try to stay warm and safe at this point?
Lots of blankets. We have a ceramic pot and a candle underneath it to try to slightly stay warm. That's pretty much all we have.
They, like thousands of others, lost heat on Sunday. Heavy ice snapped trees and took down power lines. This one collapsed on their home. Officials had to shut down this Tennessee interstate when a semi-truck slid into a pole, sending this road sign crashing down. Ice remains a serious problem in Mississippi, too.
This is insane. It's never been this bad here, I don't think.
A large tree split this trailer home in two in Culkin, trapping a young child and their mother inside. More than 100,000 people in the state are still without electricity.
Every time one of the utility companies and power companies gets a large group back online, we have another tree fall or we have another limb fall.
On Ole Miss's campus, trees encased in ice make a pretty but dangerous scene. Our Katie Weiss was there.
It just looks like a tornado came through our town.
An ice tornado?
Yes, an ice tornado.
The winter storm blitzed through the Northeast, too. Pittsburgh suffered its second worst snowstorm in 30 years. The city's mayor declared a state of emergency, driving there even more dangerous after more than a third of the city's snowplows broke down.
And it's going to be another hectic day at the airports across the south and east, with already more than 1,000 flights canceled. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy says flights should return to a normal schedule by tomorrow. Nicole Valdez, CBS News, Nashville.
And in a THV 11 update, a new judge has been assigned to the Aaron Spencer murder trial. Retired Circuit Judge Ralph Wilson will now preside over the case after the Arkansas Supreme Court removed Judge Barbara Elmore Friday for refusing to recuse herself. Spencer, the Lonoke County Sheriff's candidate, has pleaded not guilty to second-degree murder in the shooting death of Michael Fossler, a man out on bond at the time for allegedly abusing Spencer's daughter in 2024. No word yet on a new trial date. Happening today, a judge will hear arguments in a lawsuit that could impact the Jefferson County Sheriff's race. Mark Cannon is suing Sheriff Lafayette Woods, claiming an old sealed theft conviction should disqualify him from holding office. Cannon wants the judge to review that sealed file in chambers to confirm it exists. Sheriff Woods is asking for the case to be dismissed, saying Cannon has no proof the record exists. We'll have updates from this morning's hearing as we learn them. Coming up after the break here on Arkansas News Now, a friendly safety reminder from firefighters as we all try to stay warm at home.
And speaking of warming up, we will see temperatures continue to climb above freezing both Wednesday and Thursday afternoons, but then another blast of Arctic air moves in to close out the work week, and Saturday is going to be bitterly cold. I'll let you know how cold it's going to get coming up.
With below freezing temperatures persisting throughout the week, people might get all kinds of ideas of how to stay warm. Maybe electricity goes out, they need to bundle up with extra blankets, and they might be looking to some unconventional methods for keeping warm and cozy. We got Van Comer over here, manager of Channel 5, who's grilling up some burgers. It's nice and cozy over here. So as Van's grilling these burgers up, maybe Van gets the bright idea, maybe I'll take this grill inside to keep me warm. Captain Pinkley at Springdale Fire says, no, Van.
People will sometimes, make the mistake of bringing in a charcoal grill into their house to stay warm.
Captain Justin Pinkley shares the do's and don'ts of heating up your home.
That is a big no-no.
Bringing a grill inside isn't just an anecdote, it's something Pinkley has seen before.
In 2009, when I was on the line,
Pinkley says that during extreme cold like this, people often crank up their heat, but don't think about all of the safety hazards heating systems can bring, including carbon monoxide.
The people are using those heaters, and you cannot see it, you cannot taste it, you cannot hear it. It is a silent killer.
The best way to protect yourself, having a carbon monoxide detector.
It's not going to fix the problem. It's going to alert you that, hey, there is a problem. We need to figure out what's going on here. So it's all about being prepared.
While many are hunkered down, waiting for the snow and ice to melt, Pinkley says hold on just a little bit longer.
If you do not need to get out unless it's absolutely necessary, don't get out on the roads. You're just asking for a situation that you probably don't want to be in.
Bo Russell, 5 News.
Good afternoon, Central Arkansas meteorologist Nathan Scott. The road conditions are improving in some areas. Other areas, it's still a little dicey out there. And this is I-Drive Arkansas, Highway 270 around the Stony Creek community into Hot Spring County. And you can see what's going on here. We got clear area, one lane, and then you run into an area of some slush. So if you're going too fast, you hit that slush, that could be a trouble spot. And also all this slush that you see, if it doesn't melt out there today, it's going to turn into a solid sheet of ice later this evening through the overnight into tomorrow morning. So looking at the impacts with your roads, interstates, ice and snow, patches still possible on those on and off ramps, main highways, patches of snow and ice, but they are improving, especially here in downtown Little Rock with the main highways like Chester Street's getting better. Side streets, back roads, untreated roads, that's where you'll contend with snow and ice coverage through Wednesday, even into Thursday. Slush, any liquid out there on the shoulders, bottom of the hills will refreeze tonight and turn into black ice. So watch out for that. If the surface is shiny, that is a big clue that you're about to hit some black ice. And black ice will continue to be a threat all the way into early next week because we're just going to go through this method of freeze, thaw, freeze, thaw. On top of that, we got to watch out for some patchy fog developing tonight as warmer air moves in across this colder landscape. And some of this fog could be locally dense, but also with the temperatures below freezing, we could encounter some areas of freezing fog, and that is when you have tiny water droplets that will freeze on contact and almost act like a freezing drizzle type situation. But there's your next 3 days. We're above freezing tomorrow, Thursday, and then we drop below freezing, looks like on Friday, as our next shot of Arctic air moves in. And any frozen ponds, rivers out there, stay off the ice. Tell your kids to stay off the ice because the ice needs to be 4 inches thick to hold up a person, and that's just not going to be the case because now we're above freezing, so that ice will continue to melt across the region. Temperatures, it is chilly. Anywhere you look here on the board, from Texas all the way to the Carolinas, really no sign of warmth, even down to Florida. Temperatures are on the chilly side into the 40s, but this area of high pressure over Louisiana, Mississippi, bringing in more of a southwest flow, and there's some high clouds that will filter in later today. Next system, it's a weak system. It is that Arctic front. Doesn't have a lot of moisture to work with, but it could produce a flurry possible for Thursday night and into Friday. And that's about it. The big story behind this front, look at these numbers. Saturday morning dropping down into the single digits according to this model forecast. And your wind chills Saturday morning, according to the same model forecast, is projecting the numbers to be well below zero. So we're not out of the Arctic deep freeze just yet, but I think once we get into next week, the weather pattern starts to change and temperatures may actually climb above average. 18 tonight, watch out for black ice forming as early as 7 or 8 o'clock this evening. Also freezing fog in some spots. 39, mostly sunny. More melting taking place on your Wednesday. And your 7-day forecast, the numbers drop down once again the weekend, with the numbers dipping down into the single digits and low teens both Saturday, Sunday morning. But there's hope on the horizon. We'll see the rebound happen next week as highs climb into the 40s.
Thank you, Nathan. And happening today, Southwest Airlines is ending its well-known open seating policy after 5 decades. The airline now offers new fare tiers for basic, preferred, and extra legroom seating. The change comes as the country continues to dig out from the weekend's winter weather, with nearly 7,000 flights canceled across the U.S. this week. If you send any time-sensitive documents by mail, listen up. A change at the U.S. Postal Service could mean major adjustments for you when you drop those in the mail. CBS's Jared Hill has tips on how to make sure your mail arrives on time.
Mailing time-sensitive documents? Well, time is now even more of the essence. Days before the start of the new year, the U.S. Postal Service announced the date you drop mail in the mailbox may no longer be the date it's officially processed and postmarked.
How significant is this?
I think it's significant in a couple of ways.
Economist Elena Patel follows the Postal Service for the Brookings Institute.
People who are mailing things very close to deadlines should be even more aware of and maybe make changes.
USPS posted on its website, while we are not changing our postmarking practices, we have made adjustments to our transportation operations. The shift could have a big impact on people who pay bills, vote, or file their taxes through the mail.
Anything that's getting mailed to a government agency should be sent hand-stamped, registered mail, return receipt requested.
The National Society of Tax Professionals is echoing the recommendation from USPS. Mail documents a few days early or go inside the post office and get the date stamped at the counter, what's called a manual postmark. The adjustment is part of the agency's 10-year plan to cut costs and restore profitability. concentrating processing work in larger regional hubs with new high-speed sorting machines.
All postal operators are basically trying to reimagine a business model that for the last 250 years has been, pretty stable. It's only since 2007 that things have gone awry.
Forging a future for a service shifted by technology. Jared Hill, CBS News, New York.
Well, it started to thaw out a little bit in the sports world. In fact, you could say things were heating up on the court all weekend long. A look back and a look ahead next in sports. All right, so those temperatures might be getting a little better the rest of this week, but I'm not taking any chances. There's a reason we play basketball this time of year. It's an indoor sport, and we had some good hoops over the weekend. Weather wreaked havoc on the Arkansas State women. First, they had to move their game against James Madison up to Saturday morning. Then some snow on the roof caused a leak. The game was pushed back to Sunday. Then, during the game, the team fell down by 18 points before mounting a furious comeback for the win. And head coach Destiny Rogers had a message for the Red Wolf faithful.
A month and a half ago, I sat right here and I, challenged our fans to come out to the games, and we were barely getting 950 people. We had 1,167 people show up on a snow day. So from the bottom of my heart, I want to thank every single person that got in their car and came to support us. You have no idea what it means to us, but also we felt your energy and you helped us make this comeback and you helped us win. So thank you so much for showing up.
And Arkansas men's basketball had to deal with some snow as well, eventually thawing out enough to sneak past an admittedly mediocre LSU team. Good enough, though, to bump the Razorbacks up 5 spots to number 15 in the AP poll. And Coach Calipari, much like Coach Rogers, was thinking about the fans after the win.
On this day, in this weather, with what's going on, I thank the fans who turned in tickets and the ones that came here anyway. Like, there were probably 8,000 that drove here from somewhere. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. I think they're falling in love with this team.
Up next, with the Razorbacks doing the driving as they head to Norman, Oklahoma for the first time since 2011 to take on the Sooners. That game tips off this evening at 6 p.m. And look, if all this is just a bit too much for you, I feel you. Just remember, 17 days away, we get college baseball opening day.
Well, our winter weather coverage doesn't stop here. Join us at 3 for a live WeatherWise with Nathan Scott. And of course, you can watch us at 4, 5, 6, and 6:30 Central for the very latest. You can find it all on THV 11 Plus. Just download on your smart TV and watch for free. So yeah, coming up later, you're going to give us more details about the weather and the warm up.
We're going to go in depth of a recap with this storm system and why it was such a difficult system to forecast for, because it was a potpourri of precipitation. I'm going to show you some model information and give you a glimpse on what meteorologists have to go through when putting a forecast together for such a crazy winter storm. No winter storms in the forecast for the next 7 days. In fact, we'll see temperatures climb above freezing on Wednesday, Thursday. Another shot of Arctic air arrives here Friday, continues into Saturday. That's going to be bitterly cold, but then you see 40s. They do return going into next week.
That sounds tropical compared to what we've
It's going to be like shorts and t-shirts weather
That's right.
after we've been through.
All right. Thank you for joining us for Arkansas News Now.